dating women. He felt much more comfortable, more comfortable in his skin, and it was the best thing he ever done for himself.
Welcome to the Beauty Talk podcast, where we feature how the best medical practitioners help their patients to look better, younger, and healthier. Now, enjoy the show, and here's your host.
Hey, Gaia here. I'm the host of Beauty Talk, where we feature the top medical practitioners in health and beauty, both inside and out. I have Gaia Bagordo, who is a certified nurse practitioner, master injector, and the lead aesthetic provider for the Massachusetts branch of Icon MD. Originally from Italy, Gaia moved to the US at age 24 without speaking a word of English. Through relentless hard work and dedication, she earned 2 master's degrees and built a thriving career in aesthetic medicine. With over 4 years of injecting experience, she is known for her refined, natural approach that enhances beauty without compromising authenticity. So Gaia, welcome and glad to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so let's dive right into it. How did you get interested in aesthetics?
So very interesting. I was working as a nurse. It was my first year working as a nurse, night shift, just turned 30. And I feel like I was just in a bad place, like physically and emotionally. So I needed like a pick me up. I went to a doctor and I just asked them, hey, what can you do like to help me? I feel like I'm aging very poorly. I just turned 30 and I feel like I'm 45. And she just looked at my face and she was like, yeah, you just need some Botox and filler. And she completely changed my outlook. She completely changed the way that I see myself now. And she just gave me the confidence that I needed all my life. And so I decided I want to do the same thing for other people. And that's what pushed me to become an injector.
Got it. Now, I want to talk about your journey. I mean, you came here at 24, didn't speak any English, got 2 master's degrees. I mean, this is really like the definition of achieving the American dream. So could you talk a little bit more about like your journey, like how it was that you were able to make that transition? I mean, coming here and not knowing the language and then being able to achieve so much.
Yes, it was a very interesting journey. I would have to say I moved, it's been was 11 years ago. I moved here and I didn't speak a word of English. I was living in Miami at the time. So everybody was speaking Spanish and Italian, but I really needed to learn the language. So I just went to school, start taking those classes for English classes for people that their English as a second language. Then from there, I just start reading and watching Netflix with subtitles. Netflix really saved me. And then from there, I just decided to move to Chicago because I feel like I wasn't learning English in Miami. Eventually, in Miami, I met my husband, and in Chicago, I met my husband, and he helped me apply for my first master, and everything went from there.
Wow. Okay. So with you're starting now that you're becoming an accomplished provider, could you talk a little bit more? I want to go dive a little bit deeper into the practice itself. What are some of the most common treatments that your clients come to you for?
So it's very interesting how everything is switching towards undetectable injectable. So wherever I started my career, we were focusing on big lips, big cheeks, Botox near 11. And now we're moving towards a more full face balancing where I would say the rule is be undetectable, injectable. So we just kind of rebalance the face, rejuvenate the face in a way that nobody's going to know that you actually got any work done. So I would say the most common thing that I do at work is full face Botox, full face neurotoxin. I say Botox because it's just the most common neurotoxin, but I'm talking about neurotoxin. And full face rejuvenation with derma filler or other biostimulators.
Okay. And I'm starting to, when I talk to a lot of practitioners all across the country, they're starting to see a little bit more of a shift to people looking for that kind of natural look, kind of as you mentioned, the undetectable. Yeah. It sounds like you're starting to see the same thing. What do you think it is that kind of fueled that? People were going for kind of the overdone look, and now it's starting to shift more towards the natural look. I mean, what are your thoughts on why things are shifting in that direction?
So I feel like it really depends on where you are because, for example, Icon&D, which is the place where I work, also has a location in Florida. And sometimes I go to Florida to do some advanced training, and they definitely have a completely different outlook. They all want those big lips, big cheeks, like fill me as much as you can. I think it's more like a culture here in Massachusetts, here in Boston, where people want to look more natural. They want to just look more rejuvenated, but still look like themselves. And so another reason I think it used to be like out there a lot of bad work, like talking about like real housewives, like actors, and like I can think about like, for example, Madonna. All this bad work done that kind of like scare people. So I feel like then now the practitioner, they're learning that there is another way to do injectable without like making people look like aliens. You know,
Yeah. Okay.
I feel like certain people they look like much different than where they were before.
So, Guy, now I'm curious as far as kind of the new trends, the new treatments that are coming out. Is there any that you're particularly excited about?
Yes, it's a growth factor. Which is very interesting because coming from Europe, I kind of like knew about growth factor because it's something that's been famous in like, common in Europe and Canada for a while, but is finally coming to the United States. We're working on getting FDA approved, and that's what actually is going to it's going to be the next step in aesthetic. It's going to just like rejuvenate without making people look fake. Talking about like, yeah, now we have like topicals, kind of like we have exosome, which is made out of gross human cell. We have salmon DNA, which is made out of salmon. Other thing, but now they're finally coming new growth factor that we can finally inject in people's faces that before we couldn't. And then I think that's gonna be like the hot thing of 2026.
And I guess if you can summarize, like what kind of makes this different from your normal types of treatments, what would you say is like that really sets this type of treatment apart from all the other ones?
Yeah, because it's so what it does is rejuvenate your skin, stimulate collagen, also restore volume where volume is lost while stimulating collagen without filling. So there is much safer than, for example, injecting filler or other treatment. They can cause like some complication. And it give you the natural look, they restore the volume naturally to actually don't change the way that you look, but just make you look rested, more relaxed, younger, the better version of yourself.
Got it.
That's a big difference. So I feel like that's gonna be like the next big thing for next year.
Okay. Now, when it comes to differentiating your practice from others in the industry, I want to talk a little bit more about that. I know that you do a lot of advanced training. You'll also even travel to the UK for training. So could you talk a little bit more about that? Like what type of advanced trainings that you do, like you traveling to different parts of the world to get these trainings, and really why does it make a difference?
I feel like just because for once, like I live in a city where people are coming from everywhere in the world, so I just like deal with a lot of different faces. I have people from here, but there is a big Asian community, so I really work with a lot of people from like China, Korea, other part of Asia. There is African American, Middle Eastern, so it's extremely important for me to like learn from other practitioners that are outside the United States to also learn their anatomy, like also their trends. For example, in Asia, the trends are so much more different than the trend that we have here. So it's extremely important for me to know what's their trend, so I know how to take care of my client here. So I feel like that's the reason why I'm so lucky that I'm able to go to Europe because that's where is my home, and certain places like the UK they're so advanced because they've been trying stuff for much more longer than we have in the United States, and so I think they have a different outlook. So that's why I like to train in the UK, and my next step is actually going to South Korea.
Okay. And when you're talking about trends, do you notice that the trends from other countries are ahead of us, like they have it and then the US follows? Or is it the other way around? Or are they completely parallel? Well, they have their own trend somewhere and then the US has their own trend and they don't really cross over.
I feel like they don't cross over. I feel like each like Europe, United States, Asia, they have their own different trends. I think that Europe and Asia really look out for our providers because we are very advanced. But as far as product availability of product, the rest of the world is much more advanced than us. They have a much bigger portfolio than what we have, and so it's just fascinating for me to go there and see what actually have and what the stuff that we don't have here in the United States. And the Asian trend is completely different than what we have right here, from the way that they want their lips done, their nose done, their cheeks done, chin. It's just very different. So it's extremely important for me to know what they're looking for and how to perform.
Okay, interesting. Now, when it comes to the education portion of when clients come in, they're looking for something, how do you handle educating them? Because I'm sure that you get some people that have no idea, some people have a good idea, and you have the people that think they know but don't quite know. So how do you really approach educating your clients and your patients on the benefits and even some of these newer treatments you're talking about?
I feel like really depends of like the person that I have in front of me. There are certain people that are willing to learn and they're like interested, and other people they just don't want to listen. I try to like approach them in the same way, so try to explain the basic. If somebody just want to come in and like, hey, I just want this one, I just go over education of what to expect for the treatment, because I don't wanna. If they're not ready to learn, I'm not gonna waste their time. If a client, if a patient is like willing to learn and wants to like to learn more about like what I have to like I have what I can provide for them, then I really start from the basic if they don't know anything about it. So we start with like talking about neurotoxin and like what we can do for to prevent aging, based always on their age, because somebody that is 20 years old is not gonna have the same needs as somebody that is 60. And then I build a plan of care for them. So we start probably with biostimulators and neurotoxin, and then we switch with some devices such as morphosate or full face filler, depending on their goal and depending on what they're looking for. But it really depends on the person that I have in front of me.
Okay. So it's really a customized solution for every single person and trying to
Yes.
figure out what's going to be the best fit for them.
Yes, because I used to have the same speech for everybody and it wasn't working. So I just realized that you become kind of like a mind reader. So you just kind of like learn who person is ready to listen and just like start a journey with you. And certain people they're just there for just like like some botox or like some lip filler. Of course it's important to educating them on like what to expect, possible adverse effect, the like downtime, and but that's really depend of the person.
Okay. Now, I'm sure that you've also gotten people that have a lot of common misconceptions about the treatments and or lots of myths about the treatments. Like, could you share some of the common misconceptions, the common myths that you hear very often from your clients and your patients?
Yeah, and I have to say that Instagram and TikTok they haven't helped much with that. I would say the most common misconception is for people that are new of Botox, neurotoxin, that they think that they're gonna look like another person just with some neurotoxin. They think that neurotoxin is gonna like change the way that they look, that is gonna like fill their cheeks, fill their lips, and it's gonna like make them look somebody else. So that's a big misconception. So it's very like important to them to explain that it's just temporary, lasts about 3-4 months, just relax your muscle. So just even if I want it, I can't like change the way that you look with just neurotoxin, because I just cannot. It doesn't work like that. The other misconception that I have is people are, I think is a recent thing, people are keep coming telling me that filler does not dissolve over time, and then if you keep giving putting your filler in your face, you're gonna have the like pillow face that everybody's so scared of. And then they did MRI where there is filler in people's faces and it does not dissolve. So those are the two most common misconceptions. Yes.
Okay. And you did mention Instagram and TikTok earlier on, and I'm sure you get a lot of people coming in, they come in with the Instagram photo, like, I want to look
Yeah.
just like this, but it's not real. It's a filter. They're using something to make them look
Yeah.
unreal.
Yeah. I have this, I guess the new trend is the fox eye with Botox. So you go to TikTok, you go to Instagram, and you see like this provider that they're really like, try to educate people, but in 2 or 3 minutes, you can really educate somebody. And so they come to me and they're just like, I want a fox eye with Botox, Dysport, whatever I have. I was like, I can just try, but like if you're looking for the fox eye, that's surgery or is video threads. So we do them and they come back and they're just like, but you didn't give me this one. I was like, because the fox eye that you're looking for, I cannot do it with neurotoxin. You have to go to a surgeon and get surgery from that.
Mm.
So that happened at least once a day, I would say.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it happened a lot.
Okay. No,
Yeah.
and I'm curious, like because now you have like these unrealistic expectations from people seeing these things on Instagram or TikTok, but on the other end of it, social media has really fueled the growth of beauty treatments and all that. So, I mean, do you think overall it has been a net positive or net negative with
No,
social
no,
media?
absolutely positive.
Hmm.
Absolutely positive. I'm very grateful for these providers that educate patient on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. So absolutely, but so like everything, everything has its negative. So sometimes um, they come to me with this video and they're just like, I just have to explain to them how things work, and if they're willing to learn and they're willing to listen to me, then they're happy. Otherwise, I just say, I can recommend you a good surgeon, and you're gonna achieve whatever you're looking for.
Okay.
And they're usually happy with that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So at least it's not too bad. Like it's once a
No.
visit, but at least you can have a way to help them out regardless.
Yeah. Yes. No. Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Now, Guy, I'm curious, when it comes to the aesthetic treatments, how important do you think artistry plays in your approach to patient care, to client care? Because when people think about medicine, usually artistry isn't something that they think about. But what are your thoughts on how important artistry is to what you do?
Um, I think it's extremely important. I feel like that is such an interesting business because it's medicine, and you have to respect as if it was medicine, and treat it like if it was medicine, but you really have to have the artistic like eye in order to achieve what you're looking for. I love it because it's a mix between science and art. So I can use my scientific brain where I'm thinking about certain things, and where I'm thinking about the anatomy and what's under the skin. But then at a certain point, you also have to look into your artistic side and just like trust your gut, and then just like figure out what is gonna like look beautiful at the end. So I feel like it's a nice mix of both, and that's what I found, that's why it's very fun and very challenging, because everybody has such a unique face, and so it's really up to you to apply the science and the anatomy, but also like listen to your feeling and like look at your artistic side in order to create what is the final result.
Mm. Do you think that if a provider doesn't have that artistic eye or is very strong on the artistic side, that they can get good results for their clients?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I thought I didn't have an artistic side until I
Mm.
started this job. I always been like, like science. I have always had a scientific brain, so I was always very good at science. And like, I can draw. I can draw. I can like. I'm terrible at like. I tried to play piano. I was awful. So I thought like I don't have an artistic. Instead, now I do have it. I just probably was a little bit harder for me at the beginning, and what is differentiate me from other people, it's that I didn't give up. I just like try, and I keep taking like advanced training and like studying, and at the end I got that one. But I feel like like everything, even art, you have to learn it.
Mm.
I mean, my husband he has a major in art, and they had to go to school for it, and I see the difference from where he's practicing every day and when he's stop for a while and then he take his brush up again. Is drawing, they don't look the same. So it's with a lot of like practice. So I feel like if you really like it, it's something that you want to do, and you're like willing to invest your time and money, you can absolutely do it.
Got it. Now, Gaia, I'm sure that throughout your experience, you've had some particularly challenging cases that you've come across. Is there one story that really stands out in your mind of just a tough case that came in and really how you were able to get them a good outcome in the end?
So it was actually a guy. So I had this. I would say that my clientele is 75 to 80% female women, or like they identify as a female, and 20%, 15-20% male. And it's finally getting out there for men, but they get very anxious and very scared and kind of like nervous when to come and see me. So I had this person then, it was around like 35, 4 years old male that came to see me. He was very conscious about his jawline and chin. It was like very deficient in his chin and jawline. But it was even more worried about him doing anything else, anything done, because it felt that he wasn't like masculine enough, and he was worried about people, kind of like find out that he got aesthetic treatment. So we went back and forth. I did the first consultation, and he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna think about it." And then he came back, and they're like, "I'm gonna think about it." And then there was like, "Hey, let's just do it very subtle at the beginning, just so you can see the result that is gonna like really boost your self-esteem, and then we go from there." So eventually, I was able to make him do it. It was a long process because he didn't like the pain. Then at the end, it was very scared whatever it was done because of the pain, because of the soreness, the bruising, etc. So it's like, just wait, just trust the process. I will see you in 3 weeks. And then at the 3 week follow up, he was very, very happy. He told me that he started dating again, and that he was out there dating women. He felt much more comfortable, more comfortable in his skin, and it was the best thing he ever done for himself.
Wow.
So I think like whenever you see that type of stuff, you really just realize that is not just about like it really means something for people. It really can change the way that they feel about themselves, and that's why I do this job.
Yeah, it's really about them becoming their best selves or believing that they're their best selves.
Yeah, it just boosts their confidence. We don't do much. It's just the way that they see themselves that is gonna boost their confidence, and that could really like for a man can really change like every aspect of their life. Like their work performance, like their the love life, their like interaction with family and friends, their social life. So I thought it was a very great outcome that he had.
Mhm.
And then you get those are your client for life. Then they come
Yeah.
to see you all the time. They're so grateful.
Yeah, I also think it's interesting because with a story like that, you think that everyone would want confidence, but only a small percentage are men that come and look for these services. So I think they kind of look at it more as like, oh, that's more feminine. It's just for looks, but they don't think about it. Oh, it's like also for the confidence side. It's for about you feeling the best in your own skin.
I also like, especially I feel like for men, like really like their professional life, wherever they feel good in their skin, wherever I feel like it really it's extremely important for them.
Hmm. Okay. Now, Guy, I'm curious, what do you think the future of aesthetics is going? We talked a little bit about the about kind of like the more natural look. We talked a little bit more about like the regenerative medicine types of treatments, but what do you think the future of aesthetics is going?
That's a tough question. I would say, as we were mentioning, where I think we're moving away from the filler, the pillow faces, the like hyaluronic acid filler. We're moving towards a more natural filler. So more that we were talking about, like more growth factor, and then just preventative. So a lot of like devices to stimulate collagen and elastin and prevent people from aging.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that I think like it's gonna be a lot of laser. It's gonna be a lot of like microneedling, radio frequency,
Mhm.
CO2 laser, moxie, all these devices that really just like prevent you from aging. So you
Mhm.
don't have to like whatever you're a little older, you don't have to like to go and get the facelift or the full face
Mhm.
filler.
Got it. Okay. And Guy, I'm curious, what is the vision for Icon MD?
We want to become, so now we have two locations, one in Boston and one in Waltham, and in Florida I have two locations, one in Boca Raton and one in Davie. The goal for us is to expand in Massachusetts and become one of the best med spa in Massachusetts, and we want to just differentiate ourselves for our like the care that we give to our patient. For us, they're just not numbers. We just want to just like provide the best care, the best outlook, and that's why I love working for this company.
Awesome. It's a great vision. It's a great vision.
Yeah.
Now, Gaia, what's the most important piece of advice you can give to someone who's thinking about getting some type of aesthetic treatment done, but really isn't sure which provider to choose?
So of course, do your research. I would say that like Google reviews. I know that sounds like basic, but I feel like a lot of people find me through Google review, word of mouth. So don't be scared of asking your friend and family, because even if they don't tell you they're doing some treatment, they might likely just doing it, and so they can like give you a good advice to where to go. Don't go cheap, because unfortunately there is a lot of illegal, I would say, like providers out there. So just go and look for somebody that is accredited. Look at their you can, like, if you go online, you can look at my name, that you can see that I'm a certified nurse practitioner in the state of Massachusetts. You can look if you go to the Allergan website, you can see that my company is associated with their product. So we carry real brand Botox, real brand Dysport. We carry real product. They're like send it directly from the distributor, and we don't buy somewhere online. And then just like you don't have to go with and do treatment with the first person that you told to. You know, for example, I provide free consultation. You can come and see me, and we can just have a chat. You don't have to get a treatment the same day. The consultation is free. And if you just feel like that you don't like me, you just go and try somebody else until you find the person that you feel like you can trust.
I think that's a very important point you bring up, as far as that you use the real product, the one actually coming from the real manufacturer. Because I think a lot of people realize that you can actually get these like knockoffs from Amazon or like Alibaba or Temu. It's like, yeah, it's a lot cheaper, but then you don't know like what is the quality of this, and if you're going to be injected into your body, like you don't want low quality.
Yeah, and it's not about low quality. It's about the possible complication. Like is just happened. I was reading, I think yesterday, there was this person in Florida that was injecting illegal Botox in her backyard. Like they had like a little, I don't know, like kind of like an office in her backyard, and she sent like 10, 15 people to the hospital.
Ooh.
Certain people became paralyzed.
Whoa.
That happened, that like, you know, we have a situation like that in Massachusetts, so it's not like all these things only happen in certain states. They happen everywhere: New York State, Massachusetts, California, Texas, everywhere.
Okay, so people have to be aware that you don't want to go cheap on this, because you never know what's going to happen.
No, exactly. You can always ask your provider, like if you're unaware, unsure, just ask your provider to show you the bottle that, you know, for example, in my case, I prefill my syringes just because it's easier for me. Just like save me time, because sometimes I see like 20, 25 people in a day. But if somebody asks me, hey, I want you to show me the bottle that you're using, I have no problem. I go, I take the bottle, I show them. The real bottle has a kind of like a lot number, so we can like so just like everything is written in there, and so they can even take a picture, so they know what I'm injecting them. Same things with filler, or same things with other treatment. For example, I had a client the other day that she was like, can you please ask the technician to show me that they're not reusing the same tip for morphosate, because now it's something that happened in certain like med spa, where people are reusing the same tip for different people for certain treatment, and people are getting sick with hepatitis B, HIV, or other type of you know, like diseases that are transmitted through blood. So we were just like, we want to just make sure that our patients are comfortable. So if they ask us to do it, we're going to do it, absolutely.
Yeah, got it. Okay, so that's why you're saying don't go cheap, because it's not worth your health.
No, exactly. It's like this is like is elective. You know, all of this we're doing is elective. You don't have to do it, but if you decide to do it, just think about your safety first.
Got it. Great words. So, Gaia, I have one last question for you, but before I ask it, I want to point people to your website at iconmd.com. Now, last question is, what does beauty mean to you?
Beauty is what just bring the best out of you. You know, beauty is your confidence, is your happiness, is the way that you feel every day, and that's really the beauty. I spent all my life not feeling good enough, not feeling pretty enough, and now that I'm finally like a woman that reached all her goals, and with some help, I was able to feel like pretty again. That's what is beauty is about. The way that you feel, and you just live your life feeling confident in yourself.
Well, there you have it. Gaia sharing her expertise. So, Gaia, where can people contact you in your practice?
So I'm located. I'm like Icon MD in Boston, Newbury Street, 172 Newbury Street. I'm there Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then you can find me in Icon MD in Waltham, 1077 Lexington Street. I'm there Friday and Saturdays. You can always reach out to me through my Instagram, which is nurse_Gaia_. And I'm always active. So just like I'm always like able to answer you back in like 1 to 2 hours.
Awesome. Well, Gaia, thank you for being here and sharing your message. And it was a pleasure having you.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for listening to the Beauty Talk podcast. Any questions, please contact the practice directly with the contact information provided during the show. We'll see you again next time. Bye for now.